is Jordan, and today I'm going to be doing my September wrap-up and October TBR. And in case I talked a little funny, I just got a cold. I'm not quite sure, but my nose was stuffy yesterday and my throat was all scratchy, so I'm a little sick if I talked a little funny. Just want to let you guys know, but I'm going to be talking about what I've read in September and what I'm going to be reading on October. I'm not going to be reading any spooky books because for me, like, I'm the type of reader that would just pick up whenever I'm in the mood for it, not necessarily for this type of holiday or whatever. So let's get started. The first book that I've read in September is Winter Glass by Lexa Highlier. This is a sequel to Spindlefire, and I enjoyed this more than Spindlefire. I actually read this a lot quicker than Spindlefire because Spindlefire took me a month to read, and I read this less than a month. And this is a Cinderella retelling. And what I love about the sequel is, not a spoiler, is that we get more character development from both main characters, and I just love this more than Spindlefire, so I give this 5 out of 5 stars. The second book that I finished in September is The Magicians Nephew by C.S. Lewis. I almost forgot the author there. And this is the first book in the Chronicles of Narnia. I read this within a couple of hours, so this was a quick read for me. And I actually read this before, and it was for class. My goal is to read all of the Chronicles of Narnia books. That's my goal for the rest of the year, and I still love it as much as the first time, because the first time I read it was for class, and I still love the characters and all that, so I give this 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I've read, it was actually on audio, which is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. I actually listened to this audiobook with Kevin. He has Audible, and we listened to an Audible exclusive voice. The narrator was Scarlett Johansson, which was really cool, and it's only available on Audible. So if you want to listen to Alice in Wonderland with Scarlett Johansson narrating it, go listen to it if you have Audible. It's really amazing, and this is my first time reading Alice in Wonderland. I'm hoping to read Through the Looking Glass, but I really enjoyed it. Like, I know I'm used to Disney's Alice in Wonderland, but I know, like, people picked their favorite chapters into the movie, so some of the characters weren't in Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, end up in Through the Looking Glass, which I actually saw it coming, since I know Disney's version was combined the two books, so I give this 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I've read in September is Perfect Harmony by Emily Albright. This is one of the books that I have on eARC, so I was able to read it before it got released, which I really enjoyed it a lot than I was expecting, because it's a contemporary romance about a girl who's worked really hard and getting to music schools because she's a cellist, but then she meets this boy who's also a cellist who's her competition, but they're forced to do a duet together, which I honestly, the synopsis grabbed my attention, and besides the cover being beautiful and eye-catching, and I did not expect to love it as much as I did, and I highly recommend it if you're looking for a contemporary romance. And I'm gonna have a review of it, a spoiler-free review on it soon. I don't know when I'm gonna be releasing it, so be on the lookout for that. And of course, I give this 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I've read in September is Fox by Nadine Brandes. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce her name. Let me know in the comments down below so I don't butcher it. But it's a historical fantasy about this boy who's got caught in a plague where people turn into stone, and he's on a quest to find a cure. And I liked it, but there were some parts of the books that really confused me, but then they explain it later on in the books, which I actually appreciated, and it was a really enjoyable read. And if you're looking for historical a historical fiction book that takes place in the 1600s in London. I don't know what time period or what era it is, but I really, and if you enjoy that, I highly recommend you read it. And if you like historical fiction with fantasy elements to it, I also highly recommend it. And I give this book 4.5 stars. The last book that I've read in September is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I am really surprised on loving it, and I know that it's a historical horror mystery novel, but the horror mystery didn't scare me, which I'm actually happy about. And I actually vlogged me finishing up this book because I decided to do a 24-hour hours of reading since I missed 4 readathons, and I have a vlog going up soon, so be on the lookout for that. And I end up loving it, and I did not expect to love it as much, and I want to read the sequel so badly, and I know the 3rd book just came out this year, so I definitely want to read the rest of the books of the series, which I can't wait. And if you're looking for a perfect fall read, I highly recommend this, and you can read this on Halloween, which I highly recommend if you're looking for a spooky or creepy books. And this really surprised me on how much I end up loving it, so I give this 5 out of 5 stars. Actually, this book is, the last book is, I'm going to be finishing up I'm going to be finished when this video goes up, which is Winter by Marissa Meyer. I know this has been in my 2 wrap-up and TBR videos, and by the video goes up, this ends up I'm going to be finishing it. I have like an hour left on audiobook, and I also try to finish this in my own 24-hour read thing, and I still end up loving it as far as I read. And of course, this is a 5 out of 5 star read, and it's its final book in the Lunar Chronicles, which I'm sad about, but I'm happy that I've end up marathoning this book series. I did not expect to love it as much as I did, and Winter is actually my favorite out of all of them. I don't usually like conclusions to book series, but this ends up one of my favorites. And of course, when this video goes up, it's going to be a 5 out of 5 star read for me because I love it. and the rest of the series. Now I'm going to be going to my October TBR, and the first book on my TBR for October is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This is the sequel to Caraval, and if you don't know what Caraval is about, it's about this girl who's been wanting to go to Caraval, obviously, and then her sister goes missing, and then she ends up getting an invitation to Caraval after all the years that she's been writing the letters, and the story goes on from there. It's and I love Caraval. I'm going to be listening to this on audiobook because I listen to Caraval on audiobook, and I'm really excited about this. Legendary is because it's going to be told by Scarlett's sister's point of view, which is Tella, which is going to be really interesting to see a different character's perspective, which I'm really excited about because I have not read any books that have other characters' perspective in sequels, which this is really excite me. Plus, it's also Caraval is also a perfect fall read if you're looking for a book to read in the fall, and I'm really excited to read this book. The next book that I'm going to be reading in October is Seafire by Natalie C. Parker. I've literally started this morning, and by the video goes up, I'm probably read more than it. I'm only 18 pages in, which I'm actually liking it so far, and as far as I can tell from the synopsis, it's a female pirates kind of story, I think. From what I've read, like the prologue, and I should say, there have been sailing. It tells a story about female pirates. Like, I know they don't say they're pirates, but from what I can tell, that they're sailing in ships and stuff. That seems like a pirate story for me, and I'm really excited to read it because it's one of my anticipated releases for the summer. I'll link the video above and down below, and plus the cover is really beautiful, and of course I didn't buy this book because of the cover, but the synopsis really grabbed my interest, especially the tagline here, "Sisterhood is Survival," which I really grabbed my interest and I'm excited to read this. The next book I'm going to be reading in October is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. This is the second book of the Lunar Chronicles, and again, like I mentioned earlier with the Magicians Nephew, I'm planning on reading the whole Chronicles of Narnia series, and of course, these are pretty short, so they'll be quick reads for me, so I'm hoping to catch up more on the series, because I want to know what happens in other books, because I've seen the movies, but I never read all the books, and I'm really excited to reread this, because I read this along with The Magician's Nephew for class. Next book I'm going to be reading in October is When Dippo Met Rishi by Sunyan Menon. This is a library book, so I'm writing it, and as far as I can tell from the synopsis, of course it's a contemporary, obviously, but it's about this girl who's arranged to be married, but she doesn't know it yet, and of course that's why it's called When Dippo Met Rishi, and I'm really excited about it because I've heard nothing but good things about it, and I hope this will be a cute romance to read. Plus the spines yells fall for me because it's orange. It's a fall color, obviously. The last book I'm going to be reading in October, I'm not sure if I'm going to be getting to this, but I'm going to add this in my TBR anyway, is The Kingdom Keepers by Ridley Pearson, and this is a Disney book which I got in half-price books, and it really grabbed my interest because also I saw this at Disney World and I didn't get a chance to buy it, but from what I can tell, I think these kids are like protectors of the Magic Kingdom or the Disney World parks. I'm not quite sure, but I'm really excited to read it because, come on, it's Disney, and you guys who have been watching my channel for a while, you guys know I'm a big Disney fan, and I cannot say no to anything Disney. So that's all for my September wrap-up and October TBR. If you enjoy this video, give us a thumbs up and comment down below the books that you've read in September or the books you're going to be reading in October. If you want to follow me on social media, I have Facebook under Last Reader, and I have Twitter and Instagram on LastReader19. I also have Goodreads, which I'll link down below. If you don't want to miss any of my new videos, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!